Hello everybody, welcome to the configuration part of this tutorial. So installation, easy as always, simply drag and drop the random locations jar into your plugins directory, run it, and it should create a random location directory here within the plugins directory, and here you should find a backups which will store all the backups of the data. Players log.txt, we just open that quick up and that will just give you a log of the player, where they were and location. Nothing really interesting there. Zones.txt, this will provide all the information on all the zones. So here you can see the name Woopa, none, true, right, so that's the range it is, the zone. You got all the different information there. It's a bit difficult to understand what's actually going on here. So it's best to do that in game. I mean, if you know what you're doing, you can edit this, but I would not recommend it. But we're here for the config, so let's just open up the config YML. So close, close, close. Okay. Goodbye. Right. So first of all, we have the permission system settings. So first of all, you can use permissions to true or false. If this was false, then anyone with any permissions can just use rspawn. If you use permissions, then they have to have permission to use that command. Open signs, so again, even if they don't have permission, it will allow anyone to use random location signs if that's false. And open portals, very similar. If it's false, then anyone can use the random location portal, so they can just run in and do that. Message on teleport, so if this is again another true or false, and this will just send a message to the player when they get teleported. So this is using the command like so. So you notice when I was in game, I got a message every time I teleported. You can turn this off by setting this to false. Okay, so zone check delay is the time in milliseconds, I believe, that it takes to check each zone. Basically, these values, if you're having high issue problems with CPU, which technically should not be a problem with most of the large servers, but yeah, if you are having problems, then simply increase this delay. You can minimize the background checks there. So this is the number of checks I believe it does before teleporting a player. Chunks of check, obviously lower that if you don't want to check as many chunks. And then max location stored per zone. If you want to save space, or if you want performance to increase, then you might want to increase that stored locations higher. Okay, so that's all performance issues. If you're having lag, then have a go with these settings here. And obviously, if you are still having problems, then maybe look into the forums on the plugin. Okay, we also have backup, so again, enable or disable is another true or false. The backup interval, this is how often the plugin will do a backup of all the zones. So this is in seconds, so this is 20 minutes. Oh no, that's every half an hour. 1800 is every half an hour. And then the max number of backups you can have, 30, before it will start deleting them, the oldest one. Cooldowns, so this is how long in seconds before a cooldown can be used again. So they can only use the command every 2 minutes. Portals, so how often they can use a portal and how often they can use a sign. Again, how frequently they can use it will depend on how much cooldown they have, and 0 disables it. Teleport on first join. This is a cool place. So when they when a player first joins the server for the first time, what you can do is to set this to true and then set a zone in your world, and when they first join the world, it will teleport them randomly in that zone. So this is really cool if you had like a survival server and you didn't want your player to start in the spawn location. You can just make a big zone using like world border or something, set that to be default and then enable it, and then your players will randomly join in the world, which is quite a cool idea. Auto updater, so the plugin auto updates itself. You can set that to be true or false. You can also download betas, or notify the admins where beta builds are found. You can set that true. Prompt admin for update, so if there is an update, it will show a message to the admins. And check for update interval, so how long it will check for updates. So at the moment it's 6 hours. Okay, finally we have hooks. So as I said previously, it does support all these plugins here. So faction support, townie, world border, grief prevention, vault, and world guard. You can disable these hooks if you don't want them, which is nice. Economy, I didn't actually talk about this too much, but this will require the vault support, so that has to be true first of all. And this is the price of teleporting to a zone. So players, when they use the command or they go on a sign, they'll get charged this amount to teleport to the zone. I do believe, however, randomlocation.admin for players with that permission node will not be charged. So just something to note. Move restriction. So this is another true or false. If you enable this, then it will not allow players to move for an amount of time, and the time there is in seconds. So when a player teleports to a region or zone, then they won't be able to move for 5 seconds, which could have purposes if you're doing a PvP sort of style server. Ignore bed, so it will ignore the bed home system, which might be nice. Ignore other plugins, so it won't care if another plugin is taking over it, it'll just ignore it. And then you got respawn, aliases, and all sorts there. These are just the aliases for the commands, so you can set different aliases for different commands, which is cool. And I believe that is the gist of the config. Yes. I guess world travel listener we haven't covered. So what world travel listener, so what this will do, if you're traveling to a different world, what you can do is when a player is traveling to, say, the world, then you can force them to go to a special zone. So you can define, for instance, here, if they were traveling to the default world, and I wanted them to go to that Woopa region, then I can just type in here, world Woopa, and when they're traveling to the world Woopa, then the listener will go, oh, they're traveling there, and it will teleport them to that zone. Okay then, so that's that config. Nope. And I believe that this is the end of the tutorial. Thank you very much for watching. It's been me, Sam of WoopaGaming, signing out.